I'm here with Trevor Pine. Trevor is the owner of Walk Your Plans Utah. Trevor, give me just kind of a background of who you are, how you got into building and residential construction. Give me that kind of background.
So I got into construction. My dad was a builder when I was a kid, and he did a few parade homes where I was the kid at the front door handing the booties out. So I started working with him doing residential homes and construction when I was 17. So in 2001, about. So I started framing, finished carpentry and stuff like that, cabinets, railings, until I did structural iron work for a few years, but mostly always residential home stuff. I started my company building custom homes in 2015. Now that company, we build parade homes every year and larger custom homes, the fun ones. And then in April of 24 is when we started the Walk Your Plans location in Utah. It's a franchise that we got into, and we have all the rights to Utah, Boise. We might do Vegas and Phoenix. So once we get this one kind of situated and know what we're doing with it, we'll end up probably opening, I don't know, 3 to 6 more of them across the country with these guys. So
Oh man, that's exciting. Tell me about what is the name of your residential construction company that you started?
it's Kaizen Custom Homes. We mostly build down here in Utah Valley. We've built my uncle's house up in Morgan. We're going to get into the Wasatch County market this year. We have a few spec homes planned we're going to be doing up there. But mostly we've been in Utah County. So
Okay, and that's you're the owner, but also and then you also stepped into Walk Your Plans.
I kind of tell people I'm a serial entrepreneur. A couple years ago, I started an excavation company as well. So, and
I get
we're
it.
getting into land development and looking into starting a real estate fund. Just
I
kind
love
of
it,
all.
man. When I got into real estate too, I had an idea of where I was going, and it's funny how much to say you're in real estate is such a big thing to say because there's 100 different industries within real estate.
Yeah,
So yeah, I agree. Okay, so Kaizen Homes, how many homes do you do a year?
kind of fluctuates. We've done as many as 14 at a time, which was
Hmm.
kind of too much.
Hmm.
Um, Typically, we like to be around 5 to 7 at a time.
Hmm. That's healthy and not crazy.
We do scaled growth, so we don't
Hmm.
want to grow too big where we lose our quality and touch with our clients.
So Kaizen Homes, custom home builder, got some specs going on as well. And then what was the point where did you see Walk Your Plans first and why was it interesting to you?
I saw it on Instagram summer 2024 and reached out to him, but somebody else was already talking to him about this area. But I just had a feeling to call him back that October, and those people weren't able to do it. I jumped on a plane 2 weeks later to go out to Cleveland and check it out. I actually had them pull up one of the plans we were about to build. It was awesome. Like I could tell how big the rooms were. 'Cause a lot of times you're wondering if they're too big or too small. I didn't tell them, but I went there to sign the papers, but I played hardball and told him I'd call him in a week. But yeah, I just saw it, and it's just for any type of construction, it's useful. And I saw the usefulness or the value of it for what we do, and wanted to be the one to bring it to our area.
So that was kind of your light bulb moment of see it on Instagram. You're like, it is. And it's funny because that's what happened to me too, is I saw one of your ads, or not an ad, but just something that you guys had posted. Somehow the algorithm got me to see what you're doing. And that's when I just started thinking about, we have our own personal build going. I'm selling lots and land and I'm working with people that are going through a custom build that we've referred to a builder. And I was just like, there's something here. We're all visual learners. I don't think in 3D. So looking at a plan and trying to convert that just a piece of paper to conceptually what it feels like to walk through, it just doesn't work for my brain. My architect obviously can do it. And a lot of the builders and subcontractors that we work with have got that. But that was the first time I was like, I think I could see what my house is going to feel like if we put it up on something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been building houses or doing construction what for 20 plus years, and even when I walked in the first time to walk your plans, it was totally different. I can see different stuff. Like I can walk through any project that we've started or before it, and I can see it in my brain myself. But that's one of the good things with this software is a lot of people, they haven't been in the industry for so long, or especially for their clients to be able to see and feel the size of the rooms or see the elevation walls and stuff like that, really try to immerse them in their project. It's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest values that this thing has.
Right from the get go, I can see what you're saying is you're a builder and you're thinking my clients, this would help. But did you immediately go into kind of entrepreneur mode as if it's important to me, then it's important for everybody? I'm sure the wheels were turning.
Yeah, and I mean, I know all the other builders down here. We're all buddies and stuff, and so truthfully, it was kind of a flex too.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Now you guys are all coming here to use my technology, so but no, it's super helpful for everybody, whether you're doing semi-custom, multifamily, like retail space, luxury homes, starter homes, anything. So landscaping, but
That's that's what I was just going to ask you is if like what type of projects are the best fit, and I guess there isn't a best fit.
no, I mean, we ran the numbers even on an $800,000 build. So I mean, that's still a lot, but it's a smaller build
Hmm.
around here. To walk the plans for an hour is an eighth of a percent of
Hmm.
that cost of the build. And that's a small price to pay to save money, not only save money, but for any builder's clients to come in and see, feel, and get that experience for their project as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've been through the process, so I'll fill in here. But I want you to walk me through what does the whole process look of? It's like a walkthrough experience. So, we reach out, you book a session with you. Right after someone books a session with you, it's usually the builder, could be the client directly, could be a designer, it could be just whoever gets in touch with you, but they book it. What are you gonna request from them prior to coming in?
It depends on how how they're going to use it through their build. Tell everybody they should walk it just the floor plans at least between architectural and engineering. So for that, we only need like the PDFs or the architect, or
Hmm.
if it's a homeowner, they just send us the plan set, and then we get a hold of the people and see what they want to look at. If there's anything that's specific, we reach out to them. Um, and we have it all set up and scaled out before the clients come. We have a conference room you meet in with your group before you go in there, and then you walk your plans. And then afterwards, you can also stick around and go over any ideas and stuff with whether it's your team, your spouse, whatever. And we only charge for the time in the projection room itself.
You kind of let people use your conference room space for whatever it is that they need. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a designated conference room, which I'm in right now downstairs, but upstairs we also have another one of the vibe boards, and we have one in the room too, so you can make all your red lines and stuff on there, and then we easily just export it to whoever's email. But upstairs there's another one which people can use up there as well, so they can just get more value to that hourly cost, and then also not forget anything by leaving, or just keep rolling on their cool ideas and stuff they have.
We had seen the Instagram video. So that first meetup, where we're sitting down there, we got the group together. We had our architect, our designer, and then my wife and I, and then you were there, but who was the other guy? What's
Nathan.
that? Yeah,
Nathan.
Nathan. He was great. And so we had sent you a bunch of still shots, throughout the house that the architect had given us. And then we had sent you our plans. We're through engineering, so we were probably a little late to the game, but still early enough that we could make some changes. There is something there that I would have liked to do this prior to, but also or multiple times throughout. So we get in there and just kind of had a little powwow. And the interesting thing is like that time goes by in a hurry. And I'm also the type of person that I get overloaded, and my wife is too. We're both a lot the same way. So it's like we couldn't do that for 2 hours. Like I'd just be exhausted and like hit my saturation point. But Nathan suggested when we walked in, like you guys should talk about the 2 or 3 pinch points that either the designer or the architect is worried about, and let's go in and hit those spaces hard. And so that's what we did, having in there, but we kind of made a plan. You walk inside and it was just the size of it was really different, like bigger
Yeah.
and more grandiose to me, right? And so we go in there and it was like we went straight to, so the 3 things we were focused on were our windows proportionate to what we wanted. We've had a lot of questions about windows. Our designer was super concerned about the space between our fridge and our kitchen island. That was just
Yeah.
a space she felt was tighter than needed to be. And then the third place was our master suite. No one was really happy with how it all laid out. Like we had the bones in there, but we just needed to focus there. For me, like there's probably two or three like aha moments where we had moved things around. Nathan was so good because I'm standing in a part in the plans. I'm like, oh, I wonder what this view looks like if I'm standing in this position. And Nathan pulled it up because we had sent screenshots prior, and he says,
Yeah.
"This is your view." So I was standing kind of in the backside of my family room, looking at the front door, and I just had kind of gotten turned around, and it was like I don't know, really felt like I was standing in that room. So that was one of those moments that I'm like, okay, I'm actually getting this, and I got really excited. I'm overwhelmed as a homeowner with the cost and scope of this whole project, but that was like, oh, this is cool. We're building something special here.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like I was saying before, like for the homeowner, it's really a value for everybody involved in that project, whether you're the architect, the designer, the homeowner, the builder. Everybody has different things that it really adds value to what they're doing or the experience. And one of those for the homeowners is what we are talking about is that way they're not staying up at night wondering, oh, is my fridge too close to the island, or do I have enough space in the shower or my closet or garage? We can place dimensionalized vehicles that people have in the garage. They feel comfortable moving forward at different stages throughout the build, and they're not up at night wondering or worrying about what they're spending all this money on.
Dude, yeah, that's exactly how we felt. So, do you have any memorable moments or client moments that you can remember as you've already done this, whether it's your clients or one of your builder buddies?
When we first opened, there was a few homeowner builders that came in. We had some people come in from down by Vegas, an older couple, and we showed them the vibe board and, hey, any changes that you want to note down, we have this vibe board, just mark it up and we'll send it to your email. And they're like, oh, we're not going to make any changes. We've been working on this for a while. And then they end up making 8 changes. Everybody makes changes. That opens up and allows you to experience the plans way deeper than a set of paper plans. Everybody makes changes. There was a builder that brought in a client. They've been doing the plans for 2 years together. And the homeowner was just kind of on the fence. I don't know about this and all this stuff. And they came in, it was a 26,000 square foot house. They walked it in about an hour and a half. And by the time they left, they were ready to start digging. They were ready to move on and finally build the home because now they could experience it, feel the spacing and stuff like that. And so those are just a couple.
I'll tell you mine. So, my architect is this brainy, conceptual guy. And when you get him running, he'll just talk. And sometimes you're like, I can't follow you. Like I can't follow where your brain's going. And so he'll put it into drawings. Then you come have a follow up meeting and you start catching it. And what I thought was really interesting is we sat down after for a kind of a debrief, and he just was going off about how good of an experience that was. And he said, because I think you're finally, as a client and the designer that was there with us, he's like, I think everyone's finally capturing the vision that I've been trying to paint. He kind of said, I see this and I get it, but I was so glad that you could feel it too, because we kind of, to your point of that last client you said, we've been working on this set of plans since it's been 2 years. Like it's been something that I've been a little slow to it because I'm worried about cost or whatever, like there's just been a process we've been going through. So getting him there, and I felt like, okay, let's go. Like let's get the loan figured out. Let's schedule the date with the excavator. Let's get a hole dug. And he just said, for him, it was like, I finally was able to get you guys to see what I've been seeing in this building. And then also saying, I saw some places that he wants to change and tweak. So for him to kind of say that, that was a big aha moment for all of us. So I asked Nathan too, like, as we walked in, this is typically a place where people add money or take away money from the project after they walk out. And Nathan made the comment, it's typically a place where, sure, change orders can be expensive, but it's usually a big money savings opportunity. You don't usually walk into this and be like, oh my gosh, we got to add so much more. Maybe you do, but it's more along the lines of maybe that we need to add some more square footage in a smaller section or something like that. But for us, I think we walked out eliminating maybe 8 windows completely. And so I'm positive this experience will be a net negative on our line items. It'll be a good thing for us.
Yeah, that's one of the other things that's a huge part of it is changing money during construction on change orders, which you can catch before they happen in here. I would say 90% of the things you can catch or change here before they're built. We, with our parade home this year for Kaizen Custom Homes, was one of the first homes that we used this with personally with one of our builds, but we were able to save 80 grand on that house before we dug the hole because with the elevation walls, we can scale windows out or whole elevations, fireplaces, whatever. The plan originally had these massive windows, and we were able to scale those out on the wall in the projection room and slim them down. They're still massive, but with that, we got more space for shear around these huge peaks and eliminated those moment frames from the basement all the way up to the second story. A few other things that just looked like they were big enough, like a tool shed that was built into the house, that if we would have built it, it was just going to be kind of small and dumb. And with removing that and some other stuff, we literally saved about 80 grand changing stuff. I mean, you can build too big or too small. Usually, like we're doing an addition on our house. My wife did the plans and I didn't really review them, but our master bedroom is 19 by 19 and a half. And that's too big. Nobody needs a bedroom. Like it's just, there's so much space going to be around the bed and that, but she did it because she wanted the gym to, that's underneath it to be bigger. But generally, I would say probably on different scales. On a smaller home, people might be too tight and want to go bigger. Some of these big homes, the rooms can be too big, and we can a lot of times talk to people and shrink those down for savings. But basically, whatever you can figure out in the projection room and feel comfortable with, that's the value, you know. And saving money on change orders. We have a company that came in, they're more of a production builder, and they said that they have their framers frame the house out and then they do a framing walkthrough, mark everything up, and then change everything. Why would you do that? The supervisor was like, the one we just did yesterday is going to take me 2 weeks to tear out and replace. So that not only is waste of money, it's also a waste of time. So this can help you streamline your build process as well.
I hadn't thought about that, but that's exactly right. Because if your reduction of change orders, sure, it's the price thing, but the time thing, I think that that's something my wife and I are super concerned about is how long this build's going to take us. And 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there, I mean, doesn't take much to be 3 months over time. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
also saves you money on your interest. Like we're
Yeah,
saying,
that's
if
right.
you go 3, 4 months over and you're 10 grand a month interest, you know, it starts adding up too.
In a hurry. Totally.
Mhm.
All right. So here's the big question. How do you price your services?
There's a few different ways. A lot of people just do it by the hour. A lot of the builders, though, now are getting the bundles. So our hourly
Okay.
cost is $1,000 an hour. We've done easily 9,000 square foot homes in an hour just to walk the floor plans. But the bundles are more designed to use throughout your whole build for homeowners or for builders. They can buy these bundles and use them with different clients or different projects, you know, whenever they want. They don't expire. And then it drops the hourly price down pretty significantly as you buy more and more hour bundles, you know.
Okay. So a consumer, anybody can just come in and book a 1 hour session or a couple
Mhm.
hours, but then sounds like some of your builders, your clients from that side of things could buy like a group of credits, or is it by project?
No, it's basically credits for hours. So whether you're architect, designer, builders, those are usually who's buying the bundles. Some homeowners that know that they want to use it between architecture and engineering and then through the design phase and then come back and do their yard with the pool and the planters and fire pit, pergola, trampoline, all that, make sure it's all spaced out. That's what the bundles are used for. But yeah, we have all the big builders have been through now and are making it a part of their process. And so, as a builder, designer, architect, you buy the bundles, save money on the hourly cost, and then you can use it whenever with whoever, you know. And then when you come here, after somebody books it, whether you're a builder or just a homeowner, you can bring whoever you want. Like the
Hmm.
cost doesn't
You're
change
kind of
with,
booking out the whole space, right?
yeah, it's the whole space and it's purely an hourly charge thing. So just for the projection room, like we were talking about.
And that comes with somebody from your team help managing the computer and the vibe board.
Yeah, and it's purely for the hour in there or whatever time you use in there. So any of the pre-setup stuff we talked about where we receive the plans, we reach out to you, ask you if there's anything like special you want to look at. So all the pre-setup stuff before you get here, we don't charge for either.
Amazing. Okay. You already told me that you've bought the rights. It's a franchise, but you bought the rights for Utah and some of the surrounding states. We're up in Eden. So from my house to your front door was about an hour and 15. Are you thinking about moving up like Salt Lake or further north anytime soon?
As this one grows busier, probably more up North Salt Lake, Ogden area.
Yeah.
Try to get people from Logan and that far north down to that one. And we're looking at possibly doing one in St. George also,
Hmm.
and Boise, Idaho. I have a cousin up in Boise that's a land developer, so I know some of the big builders up there as well. But throughout the franchise, we were the ninth one open in the US last April. I think there's 30 of them now,
Oh, wow.
open nationwide. And I think they're planning probably up in around 60 or
Yeah.
more.
That's awesome. You mentioned something. I think we had been there right before, or we got there right after your Super Bowl party. But I think something else you mentioned is like, yes, I think we'll focus on everything construction related, but it sounds like you've got the opportunity to do events and parties like that.
Yeah, we've done a few events, whether we use a projection room or not. Upstairs in that other room, we have a theater system where we can host corporate events, whether they're doing trainings or fundraising or whatever, and use that up there. We've done some cool parties with the projection room, product launches. We did the Super Bowl party. That was really fun. And I think we're going to do a UFC fight night here, kind of like the
Ah,
Super
perfect.
Bowl.
Yeah.
We could do wedding receptions, just all sorts of stuff because it's really cool with the projection room because it's a blank slate in there, so we can project any video or pictures or whatever on the walls and the floor, and we can do photography in there where we put a backdrop on the wall and then marry it up to the floor. I mean, you can we can project anything.
Technically, you can project on the floor, and then do you have three walls or four walls that you can project
Two walls, yeah.
on? Okay. Front and left, is that right?
The ones facing each other
Okay.
are position walls, but
Amazing.
and
Okay.
the walls project 18 feet tall, 36 feet wide. So it's basically an IMAX projector in there on each wall. And then the
All
floor
right.
projects 2,200 square feet. As people are walking through their plans, we move it for them so they can be engaged with either their client or what they're doing or looking at. We run the whole thing and we just drive it for you in there, room to room, basically.
I think you were in the room when this happened, but I remember there was a three sections. It was we were looking at windows, we were looking at that pinch point with our island, and then we wanted to kind of walk through that primary suite. And so we were in the primary suite, had kind of wrapped up the three things we had, and we still had a few minutes left. And our architect said, before we leave, let's hurry and go look at the kids' bathrooms. And we all kind of like turned and started walking. And then Nathan, just drove and kind of dragged the things under our feet. But that's one of those moments I realized that I wasn't just looking at a piece of paper. I felt like I was in the house because we were, oh, let's turn and walk down the hall. So we're walking down the hall and all of a sudden we're in the kids' room. And that was like, oh my gosh, this is working.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if I was in there or not, but we've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So,
guy from Washington had a really long house. His front room was 50 by 50, just
oh,
his front room. And so he wanted to walk down their hallway down to the guest wing. And so we have a video of him like walking, he's like, timing it, like
oh my gosh.
long walk.
Did he make any changes or did he like it?
He liked it. He liked that it
Good.
was kind of way over the end of the house.
From everything you've seen, and you can include stuff that's like home show stuff, but what's your favorite floor plan feature that you would think about putting in your home, or you start telling customers these days that they got to think about?
I would say a lot of stuff that we run into as a builder, we have experienced in the room with other people, rooms or spots to think about is primary closets, if you want an island in there. Gyms always, we've done some big gyms, I thought, and then we go to put equipment in there. And it's never as big as you think it's going to be on paper. Your architect, you can tell them like what you want to put in there. They can put that on the plans, and so you can make sure there's space around them. Pools, you always think, oh, 14 by 30, that's plenty. And not to say that's not a big pool, but a lot of times pool space is often different than you think.
Thinking you're getting a lot more when you get out there. It's yeah, you could use a little more
Yeah,
swimming room.
yeah, probably those main areas are the bigger ones.
All right. So I know that we could all Google you, walk your plans, Utah, but what's the best place to get a hold of you if it's not through your builder and they just want to come book? Oh, I think that's probably the first place is you would say talk to your builder, architect, like see if they've got a connection with you, and if not, they can just reach out to you directly.
Yeah, on our website, it's just walk your plans, Salt Lake, spelled out.com.
Okay.
Even though we're not technically in Salt Lake, we're right next to
Yeah.
it. But all of our contact info is on there or on our Instagram. We're going to start posting more informational type videos, but you can go on there and see videos we've posted, whether we were doing an event or doing it for Walk Your Plans, doing the plans aspect of it. There's a lot of information on there as well. It's just Walk Your Plans dash UT on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. It was one of those things that for me, kind of similar to that one customer or client of yours, I'll repeat it. I have been excited about this plan, but overwhelmed with the whole process. And this is, I'm in this space for work all day and I'm coaching customers and clients through it all day long. But there has been on a personal side, just, man, it's just a big undertaking. And walking through it like that with you and your team and my team, I mean, I walked out of there saying, okay, let's really make the push to make this happen. And I think we're planning on breaking ground within the next couple of weeks, depending on weather up here. So yeah,
Nice.
we're stoked. It's been a big part of it.
Yeah, that was a really cool house plan.
Thanks, man. Thank you.